Hello there, Max here, and today we're going to be playing some more Cultist Simulator. Last time, we got ourselves heavily upgraded. We're up to the point where we only have one last level of ability upgrading to do. We got several more acquaintances to eventually convert into our cult. We got a few more books, we got a few more locations, and even more vaults. We've met a few patrons. We're doing pretty well. So, let's see now. I think we might be in a position to start reading a few of these books and get some proper lore going on. So let's go ahead and start off with The Queens of the Rivers, a surreal contemporary play by the enigmatic Monica Medina in which the Queens of the Rivers are murdered one by one. My, seems quite fitting for Shakespeare. And I think after this job, we'll buy another book from Moreland's. Actually, we should also be trying to get a few more followers, I think. Keep things nice and simple for a little bit here. Okay, let's go ahead and hop on over to Moreland's. The plan right now is to do a bit of searching in the woods to get more cult scraps. Pick up more followers until they're out of those. Go through Moreland's shop and get as many books as we can. And get as much money as we can, while trying to stay alive through the dark seasons. Okay. Study of the Queens of the Rivers. The culprit, it transpires, is the audience. The surviving queens are directed to execute whatever audience members do not escape. A surprisingly lucid epilogue suggests that the correspondence of river names with historical events does not provide clues to secret stories behind our own. Well, that's weird. So it's a book about how the audience is killing these main characters of the story? Okay, that's tricky. Hey, we get a new occult scrap. I guess we can use that on our next turn. Ah, on what is contained by silver, a bestiary by Pomander in Greek. So we'll have to translate that one. Ah, but we don't have a way of learning Greek just yet. In fact, I think maybe the next tome will be the Sanskrit reader. Oh, and we'll go ahead and work on this. I believe this should be the last location from the level 1 vaults. A little more attention to the detail there. There's Silent Season. Nice, nice. And in we go. Nothing. Nothing too good. Try again. Looks like we got a follower who's hooked on our reasoning, so that's good there. Now, we can start translating Sanskrit. Nice. We'll go ahead and set that aside. And anytime we get a Sanskrit book, we'll just put it over there. Next, that is a Latin tome, so we can't read that. Traveling at Night, Volume 2. Do I have Volume 1? I would rather like to do them in order if I can. Okay, we'll go ahead and skip that. The 6 Letters on Necessity. Warnings and confessions about the cost of the invisible arts. Addressed to a student by the 17th century magus and reputed immortal Julian Cossely. Oops. Let's see. Cossely's tone is urgent, as if he suspected he might have little time left. But I guess when someone starts riding around like that, they probably think something's wrong. Aha! Now, you notice these locations here have this kind of a blue tint on their labels here. This one has a white tint. That is because it is the last. It is a location that is repeatable. Uh, all these are unique areas. This one, after we've cleared these out, we can only visit them once. These ones, we can be able to come back to and find it again and come back to it, find it again, come back towards it. If for some reason there's things that we want from these locations kind of again. Not exactly the best thing, but it's good for, getting some low-level stuff that you might have missed from these other spots. Oh, this was an interesting one. Puppy Lascelles, an amiable woman of property. She'd like to talk to you. I'm sure she would. She is a very unique patron. Let's talk to her. My dear, I've been wanting to talk to you. Sometimes I fund scholars of the invisible arts. I'd like to offer you my support, a substantial contribution. And all you need to do someday is to introduce me to someone else who'll end matters properly. She smiles benignly. Add passion to accept, or reason to interrogate her further. Let's interrogate her further. Someone who'll end matters properly? That is a very big question, after all, of what exactly that means. Let's get another book. And let's see, since we've kind of filled this all out, I'll go ahead and just put all these locations up to the top until we're ready for them. That's fair. Maybe bring these guys a little lower. A lot of our big worries are kind of drawn out now that we have less things to worry about now. Another scrap. Also, it's time for we to start storing these scraps instead of using them. And we're storing them for a big reason. You'll soon see why. De Horace Book 1. In Latin, a 19th century reprint by the indefatigable Nathaniel Darcy Evers of a 14th century Latin translation of a 4th century work. That's a lot of different centuries being worked around, so that's going to be another book we cannot yet use. Let's move you down and pop these down here. There we go. Let's see. Let's wait till we get a little bit more cash, I think. Alright, another book. Even the sun can be divided, though it requires the Forge of Deus for its division. That's an interesting tome. So we have now learned a smith's secret. In 5 continents, smiths have whispered the same words to the iron. Murderers have been known to whisper these words too. And adepts, of course. These words are spoken in ritual to inspire an unmerciful change. This is the aspect of forge. Fire, I once read, is the winter that warms and the spring that consumes. Forge is the material lore. The lore of changing things of the material realm. Whether it's forging, smithing, all kinds of things, mending, taking one thing to changing it to another, gold, lead into gold kind of things like that. Not to mention your typical constructions, making of alloys, all kinds of things like that. Let's go on to the next tome. The Locksmith's Dream. Portions and Proportions, the 2nd volume of Teresa Gallmer's examination of parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. Actually, wait, what are the other 2 books? Let's do one that's not a sequel. An Introduction to Histories, the 17th century mystic and antiquarian Claude Hersal describes divergent incidents in 5 major histories. The prologue warns at length of the iniquities of one Julian Cossoli. That's a fun name that we just recently had. A former colleague who her salt now describes darkly as a worm of worms. It seems Cossoli advised her salt early in the writing of the book, but her Saul later became suspicious. So, Cossoli, we seem to have his association of the Forge play lore, and it sounds like her Saul is going to be associated with the lore we're going to learn from this tome. So just like learning about things like the hours, these lores, these names will be appearing more often, but you're going to be not so much seeing them as much, but more of what they mean, I suppose. Now, what Poppy is wanting here? Yes, when the season of rags comes round again, my sponsor will require someone for an ending. You can provide someone sufficiently loyal, or you can provide it yourself, as you prefer. I don't want to be any trouble. A chilly atmosphere. So, Poppy! Oh, Poppy, 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 Poppy. This lady wants to bring someone to death. Or at least she has a client who wants to be anyways. She'll become a bit more of a patron later, but this is a bit of a side quest, you see? And we're gonna have to figure out the best way of dealing with her. We have a few options. We'll hold on to that for now. Let's see, let's go ahead and see about who else we'll find. Now, also, pretty soon we're going to want to start paying attention to what the results of this are, because something will eventually change. It may seem long and boring and dull, but just like most jobs, some things oftentimes will end up changing eventually, for good or for bad. Okay. Her salt identifies blood, silver, design, and worms as the central axes of each of the histories, and claims the so-called second history is the true one. Now, this word worms, I'm sure you are envisioning, like earthworms, digging through the graves of things and such as that, considering the themes of things, but not so. There is another term for worms, and I'm sure you may have heard of it before, with a Y involved. Yes, it's more of the primordial worms, or serpents, or dragons. Sometimes it can mean this. So we kind of also want to, every time I see the word worms, I get a little bit of a peek. That tends to mean something quite a bit. And, of course, we get another occult scrap. Well, now we have two. That, although you might think that these are useless, there is a use we can still work with them. Since we have two of these now, we actually have the ability to upgrade them. But we can't just do it with nothing. We're going to need a little bit of erudition, which we seem to have, in order to upgrade it. So we take the two lures, we start throwing them in the steady as like a mixing pot, and then after this first little bit, it'll ask us for something a little bit more. Oh boy. And we might be running into some trouble. Let's keep the money for a little bit. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. Solve all the challenges on both fragments of lore to complete a research task. If you can return to a task later if you fail. So yes, there is no pressure on us for us to have to succeed this. Like, nothing's gonna dissolve or go away. But it's better to solve it if you can. Ah, nice. Nice! We got ourselves a second order. Or, well, fourth order. Now, we're gonna stay off of there for a bit and get some opium because we got a dread season coming and we got some dread building up. So time to worry about that. In fact, and I'm not gonna worry about that. It's a little unreliable for that. Now, here's the thing. This is a puzzle with missing pieces. I might find those pieces in odd corners of scholarship. It's asking specifically for erudition. Let that timer run out, and we will have ourselves another thread of truth. And we have another acquaintance. Saliba! Saliba is a man of prodigious appetites. He is long past the point where their satisfaction has given him any pleasure, but he has learnt so very much. Lovely. Alright. Let's go ahead and turn this in because I believe it's going to take the dread first, unfortunately. So we're going to have to just get rid of that. And of course, we are going to keep using our lore to keep searching for more people. There it is! Is that it? You resolve the knowledge challenge. So yes, now we're going to have a couple more Theater of Truce. Now we could, since we do have 2 of those, we technically could upgrade those as well. But let's go ahead and work with them. Might as well max out all the pieces from its section as well, if you ask me. Ah, nice! We have none of those that popped up. Very lovely. So that was all dealt with. Don't have to worry about the dread so much now. Lovely. And now back to the woods with us. And looks like we are getting another follower coming up. I'll go ahead and throw you over here. And another location. Caucus Hill. The ancient tribes reserved this resting place for one who, by the end, in service to a certain merciless hour, was more scar than man. They sealed the entrance with binding songs and mortared blood. To a certain merciless hour. There's that word again. Hour. Yes. Hours are essentially the gods. The source, or well, I guess the best way you can kind of describe it is as a god. Or at the very least, the font or sources of where this lore comes from. And the description on that gives me details on what that might possibly mean as far as what sort of hour that is going to be dealing with. Let's keep researching. The War of the Roads, 1450-1580, Censored Edition. Willis Ford describes the War of the Roads, an event in a history other than our own, in detail. But numerous pages have been removed. The name of the publisher is blacked out, and an ominous slip stapled to the cover explains that Willis Ford has been excised. Let's read his stuff. In this past, a score or more of longs were made. They brokered peace with the Forge of Days, long enough to set England on a path of early conquest and eventual destruction. The Forge itself devoured the greatest among them. So, a score or more of longs, which, the way they have that, long sounds like a thing. This is probably going to be a tale that teaches us some more Forge lore. Keep on working and getting that bread. I think we have enough time to get another one of these. There we go. So far, we've not gotten too much lore, but we're working on it slowly. Here. Ah, darn it. I don't like using the peculiar rumors too much, but then again, well, maybe when this one's over, we might use it. At least if you can use it without, like, spending a passion or anything. Violet! Violet has always given unstintingly of her time, easing the pain of the dying. What a lovely sounding lady. Wow, we certainly have a small army of people we can gather, don't we? Let's see who else we can gather. Let's see now. I found something noteworthy. Kittling Ripe and the Kittling Ripe and the Moldy Warp's Grave, and other stories. A lusciously illustrated tome of loosely connected children's stories, collected by one N.K. Field. Few of them are remotely suitable for children. Oh, lovely! So it must be a book of German folktales. Yeah, why not? We'll go ahead and throw this out. See if we can get lucky and find another person. Speed things up along. After all, even if we have one notoriety, it's not going to ruin things too much. We just get one level of evidence, and hey, we don't do anything again for a while involving that. Alright, what's the War of the Roads? The royalty of England, according to Willis Ford, became the sovereigns of the Leashed Flame, destroying or transforming their enemies, conquering Europe, establishing grand cathedrals to Saint Spark. That's a very obvious name that sounds very on the nose, doesn't it? The alliance with the Forge begins to take its toll. The last few chapters are missing entirely. Ah, we have another furtive 2. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, I guess next we will go ahead and do Kittling and Ripe. The protagonist, a speechless cat thing called Kittling Ripe, performs a series of elaborate rites to rescue members of her extended family, culminating in the resurrection of her other grandmother, Moldywarp. Okay, well, that sounds lovely. Very necromancery. Get some more money. I'm gonna try and see if we can focus on getting more books if we can. Oh, got another scrap. Lovely. You know what? I think I will go lowest to highest. We're gonna be definitely altering things as we go along. Oops. Get things a little out of order. Okay. Ah. Another one. Tristan. Tristan dislikes distractions. Tristan gets things done. Ooh, I like that. Sounds very much like me, except for the getting things done part. Let's buy another book. What do we have next? When the Snake Witch killed the stag... The stag is another word we want to keep in mind for later. Kittling snatched one of its eyes. When the Dry Witch killed the sow, Kittling stole a cup of its blood. Then she took them to the place Moldywarp lay buried, and she shook out her hair, and she began to dance. Ooh. We got us some moth. The aspect of chaos. Very nice. I'll go ahead and put you up here. So yes, this particular lore is a level 4 of Moth. Lie awake and listen. The wind speaks in the branches. The house cries out in its sleep. These are the roads that chaos rides. Yes, aspect of Moth. I knew a man who captured moths in a bell jar. On nights like this, he would release them one by one to die in the candle. Yes, it is indeed the aspect of the madman. But one cool thing we now can be able to do, we can actually finish this particular commission. I think we might want to work on that. Actually, you know what, let's go ahead and also steady this particular tome. Oh, hello! Gildersleeve's Latin Grammar! Just what you need to refresh your knowledge of Latin. If you can't tell, that is going to be a translate. That's going to teach us to be able to translate Latin! Wonderful! Was that a Latin book? No, I was just Greek. Let's try Temple. Ah, sorry. Alright, we got us another one. Ooh, here's another very unique one. Solachana Amavasya, the laconic, energetic, bright-eyed, unblinking owner of the Ecdysis Club. That's right. The owner of this club is someone we can be able to speak with. I've never really figured out what about, but we can do so. Let's see. Solachana stubs out her cigarette. Yes, if you want to study the language with me, yes, you can. Was there something else? So, if we didn't already know Sanskrit, we could also be able to learn it from her, but we're not going to do that. But I believe, yes, we can also speak to her over here. Solachana Amavasya stands just inside the red swag doorway, smoking one of her peculiar imported clove cigarettes, speaking to a lean, very tall sort who might perhaps be Greek. She watches me approach without blinking or changing her expression. Now, I think she is unique for something involving our goal, because we can be able to enter it, but it says too late to change. No, you are what you are. It is impossible, because we are dedicated to this. But if it was just a temptation, I know we could be an Unteret in here. I don't know what else we can do about it, but it is something we could be able to do. Perhaps in a different playthrough. After all, we are trying to complete everything. This is just more of the explaining playthrough. After this playthrough, we're going to be trying to do things a lot more quicker. A lot more focused with a plan, as it were. Ah, you might have also noticed the lore over here lit up when we were selected over here. And yes, we can be able to use the lore with this path as well. That is how we find more places in the Mansis. But not yet. We're gonna have to leave that alone, sadly. Oh, they're gonna probably make some more evidence. Of course, depending on the detective, there's actually a chance they don't make evidence. Let's see. The finest artisans all dream of the white door in the end. I'm no artisan, only a scholar. I think there's a secret that all these artisans know, but I think that secret is only half the story. The white door. I don't know if you've noticed when we popped into the Mansis, but there's a place called the White Door. And we have found a key. The locksmith's secret. Sooner or later, every locksmith has the dream. Now we recite its its 7 phases. Yes, it's a very important lore. That one is. I'll go and bring it down more. And let's go ahead and see about finding some more people. And we'll go ahead and learn a little bit of Latin, shall we? I recall a certain amount from my school days, but I need to brush up. Now, translation also works slightly different than purely reading. You will find out, sure. Hello. Here's the white door. Almost as if we might show up there one day. We've already missed out on what the well had, so let's try this one. Subtle flaw. Let's put that in the middle and see if it decays in anything or if it just goes away. It's always hard to tell unless you directly watch these things. No, don't waste my time. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's really much we're going to be able to do with her, so she's going to kind of be... We're just going to stow her away in the corner, because I don't think we're going to be working with her at all. Sadly. But, in a future playthrough, probably might. Let's see now. We'll go ahead and do a little more shopping. We have plenty of locations, so it's not like we're in a hurry to start revealing more places, really. Oh, we are going to have some problems there. But they got evidence. We're going to have to leave us there to remind us that. Let's see. Wrapped in the King. Detailed accounts by James Colin Murphy of secret bacchanals and ecstatic dances observed in necropolises and graveyards in southern Europe, in Egypt, and Anatolia. The author is a self-confessed ghoul, an eater of buried flesh. He claims to have witnessed It claims to have witnessed the dances while at his feasting. Well, I have a hunch I know what this book's lore was going to be involved in. But we'll go ahead and just put it in the lineup here. Let's put you in order here, because I like seeing if there's another book that comes up with it in title. Go ahead and throw you in there. And now we have Scholar of Latin. Now, so for these books to translate, we can't read them. So what we must do first, if I have a text in this language, I can begin to translate it. We are not reading it yet. We are translating it, meaning we are literally, word by word, going through it, going in mind with everything we know about Latin, and actually translating it on other pieces of paper, and basically redoing the whole telling in it before, and then after that, we will read it. So let's start out with the Horace, Book 1. Let's see now. Oh, another scrap. I'll take that. Thank you very much. And we'll leave that one alone, I think, because we do want to pay for some sickness stuff. Okay, we'll go ahead and throw you in here. There we go. And also, here we go. Another acquaintance, Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra has been found not guilty 3 times in 3 separate jurisdictions. Wow, that is that's some luck there. She will likely never be found guilty of anything. Interesting, stranger. We're starting to get rather full in our cabinet of addresses here. Let's see who else we can get. And there we go. We have now translated the Horace Book 1. We'll put that up here. And now we'll translate this tome. The Orchid Transfusion Volume 1. And then after that, I think we'll go ahead and upgrade that occult over there. Oh, we're going to have another sick day coming up. So in fact, I think the next one is actually going to be a studying of some health, so we get a vitality. Okay, we're going to be getting another person coming in soon. And now that has been translated. Lovely. Let's see, and that's going to be Greek, so we'll save a spot for that. Let's go ahead and train you up there, so that way we can get a score of vitality. Oop. Go ahead there. And save a fund. Well, actually, we don't need to save a fund. We're fine. Get another book. Just keep spinning the plates of destiny. Ooh, we got another dread dime coming up. Ooh, we have another hanger-on. Suppose technically, once we get our cult run up here, we could be able to give them over to Poppy later on. After all, they're never going to be much use. Okay, we add ourselves a vitality, so that'll be great when that comes up. Apollo and Marsyas, the libretto of a lost opera concerning the contest between Apollo and Marsyas and its tragic outcome. The librettist is identified only by their initials, RKNJL. RKNJL. Let's take a look at some of these other authors. Robert Flood. James Collins. Yeah. Sometimes you can find some things matching up others, and other times not. So always good to keep an eye on those things. Ah, another scrap. Let's see. We can go ahead, I think, do an erudition, and then we will jump over to the next scrap. Also, let's go ahead and see about getting some contentment, although I think we might be doing it too early. Yes, we're doing it too early. Dang it. Alright, we're gonna put that up to remind us that that is a thing. We did that too early. Wait. Good. Okay, so we got the contentment. I think we might be fine. I think that'll run out and then pull that, so I think we'll be fine. Let's go ahead and use the vitality, save us some money. There we go. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. It's fine. Don't panic, anybody. Don't panic! Search for more people. And I think... we'll wait till this turns done. Better to save money for emergency. Okay, got the erudition. Go ahead and start upgrading that. And there we go. We're fine over there. Alright. Back into the Mantis we go. And looks like we're going to be getting another follower shortly. And with that, I think we'll be okay to buy another book. Go ahead and put our erudition in there. On the White, Solomon Husher writes, perhaps allegorically, of winter, and its long, slow, doomed romance with the sun. The epigraph is sunset at noon. Very interesting tome. It's like, got a bit before the evidence goes away. No, we're not going to touch that for a bit. Yay, free vitality, just like we needed it, right? Who we got? Another hanger-on. There will be a hanger-on for each of these lores. I guess they wanted to be nice and versatile, in case you wanted them around more. We technically could be spending more time trying to get people into our cult, I suppose, but, what fun is that just now? We've still got more to go. Okay, got a fascination time, and there we go. I guess we'll use this moment to start getting a few more locations, shall we? Let's see. I guess we can go ahead and read a book as well. Let's do Wrapped in the King by James Colin Murphy. The dances draw from the traditions of the mysteries, of the cults of Isis and of Cybele, but include both symbolic and literal flayings, and the human heart is always central in the rites. The author punctuates his accounts with queasily sensuous descriptions of his own interrupted feasts. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to probably save a bit of money so I can work on one of the commissions, now that we've got a bit of extra ability to do so. And soon we might go a little bit deeper into the Mantis. Ah! Gladwin Lake. Beneath the stark slopes of the fells, the mist-wreathed surface of the lake waits. There was a twin altar here before the Romans came, and a legend of a serpent who was sent to defile that altar. Worms and serpents, it's another theme. There's a lot of themes that you will notice the more you play and read and hear that'll just kind of set off flags in your mind. Another hanger-on. Go ahead and get you again. At these greater feasts, a black pig is always crowned as king before its slaying. On this occasion, its heart was weighed in the balance against a knot of feathers, and its skin became a cape for the officiant. Its flesh was left for the crows, but I must confess my interest was not in its carcass, but in the perfumed flesh of the milliner laid fresh in the earth. So what am I reading again here? At this greater feast, the black pig is always crowned as king. So a black boar of some kind, and slayed. Hearts put on scales against knot of feathers. And the skin becomes a cape for the officiator of the whole event. And it's... I guess what it means by the flesh, I suppose it means like the muscle and things beneath the actual skin. Because I always thought the skin and the flesh were one and the same, but I guess that's more of a muscular thing, and that's thrown to the crows for them to feast on. And our writer is not caring at all about this particular pig, but of a milliner who has recently died. Hey, look, it's a heart. I thought it was going to be Grail. Ooh, that's actually heart of 6. Definitely allows us to be able to commission there. Sweet. Move you down a little bit more, if you don't mind. Okay. Let's go to the Horus Book 1 now. The volume deals mostly with the hours of the wood, the moth, the black flax, the ring yew, among others. Hours of the wood. Interesting. Seems like we might learn some good information from this. Go ahead and get another book. Alright, anything else good? Try the well. Nothing new. Wonderful. Soon we may desire to go a little deeper into the Mansis dream world. The Victory of Crowns. Erratic accounts by one Arun of the hunting and consumption of supposed mortals by shadowy cults of assassins. Published in the late 19th century. The hunting and consumption of supposed mortals. Huh. Interesting. That, considering we are trying to become immortal, I think that kind of is of interest of us, of what that kind of results by. We have a notoriety day coming up. The Horus Volume 1. The glory is a question, and the moth always answers yes. The black flax answer is no, and that is always its answer. The glory, another term that's come up. This glory is a very interesting theme that comes up. And you might have noticed whenever we're in the Mansis, the glory is something that's right above everything. So we can probably take from that all the hours stem from that, I would assume. Let's go ahead and read this new book we got. The assassins are, according to Arun, the agents of a power called the Colonel. A soldier of the secret masters. The accounts go all the way back to Roman times. The Coronel. Interesting. That is also another thing to keep in mind. The Coronel. God, this game is just so full of lore, isn't it? The makers of it are just... Ooh, and there's another game that's supposedly being on the works, too, and I'm very excited for that. A little more on the lines of Disco Elysium and Baldur's Gate, a little bit. It's like... So it's going to be very fascinating. Alright, we are done there. Not a lot has been gained coming through here, but every now and then we get enough. Uh-oh, we forgot to put in some reason over here. Whoopsie. We're gonna have to wait a bit on that before we do the next one. I want to make sure we have enough funds in case of an emergency. Arwen's scholarship is dubious, but she writes pithily, incidents of sudden and violent death are interspersed with aphorisms. Hours don't dream. Long try not to. Okay, now if I recall, from Forge, a long is something that was created. So that means that longs seem to have a relation to the hours as well. And hours don't dream. Interesting. That's a very interesting phrase. Also, we have a new lore. A knife secret. This is the aspect of edge. All conquest occurs at the edge. One who dwells there is blind and cannot be wounded. Another is strong and grows strong. Yes, the knife is basically the lore of combat, battle, struggle, things like that. It's kind of the warrior's lore. Whereas the heart, which we kind of glazed over by, let's see, who could hear this and remain unmoved? The sleeping, the dead, the earth and the sky. Ooh, and it also has a little special thing over here. Aspect of heart. The heart, relentless beats to protect the skin of the world we understand. It's basically, that's a better way to put it, the heart of the world. Whereas the Smith's secret is kind of like a change in material things. The heart is everything natural, I suppose I could best say, or everything within. It's very difficult to describe, really, but it has it's like the source of life, of living things. That's probably the best way to describe it. And let's see, we have another acquaintance, Porter. Porter was a barber until the court case. Oh my, do we have ourselves a bit of a Fleet Street barber, perhaps? I guess we'll make a third column for you. We've got room. Next! Let's see, how are we doing on things? So, I think we might have a bit of dread. Let's see, shall we read another book? Orchid Transfigurations. Let's go for that one. The illustrations are certainly striking. They flush the skin and glow beneath the eyelids after the book is closed. Interesting. Sounds like a interesting set of stories. Also, if we want to do some commissions, we want to do it when we've got a bit of money on hand. Alright, looks like we can get another scrap. Erudition, nice. Let's go ahead and take this time, since we're waiting on money to come in, to get some more locations, shall we? Okay, Mr. Alden's doing fine so far, isn't he? Sees no silence, not bad. I almost skipped it. We must devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured as we cannot be unborn. You know, there is a truth to that. And that gives us a lore of Grail. Another one of the... Now, this is very... not exactly akin to heart, but this is more of the magic of pleasures, of experiences, of sensations. The cup runneth over, sort of thing. We are always trying to fill that Grail, but once it is filled up, we want a bigger cup, and then it gets a little more, and then, well, it tends to lead to a bit of madness. So so you'll kind of watch out for that. Let's see. I think now might be a good time. Whoops. To upgrade another scrap. Let's see. Keglin's Scratch. Here the Romans dug for silver until they reached the unsanctioned space where the names hid things not for sunlight. Many others have come since then, even as the tunnels crumble. Some have never left. The names is another capitalized things. That's another interesting thing. The longs, the names, the worms. It's very difficult to keep track of all these things without some notepads, isn't it? Nope, we're gonna get sick again. Lovely. Oh, we got a good one. Very nice. We got a Furt of Truth. Good. Go ahead and search that one out. Another nook of the world. Alright, keep it going, keep it going. I think we will leave that alone for just a bit, since we're gonna be sick in a bit. And now we have another acquaintance, Elridge, an elegant man of ill-elegant habits. Go ahead and put you there. And get another person. Go ahead and throw that one over here. Put you there. Good. So far, we're doing pretty good in getting our everything built up around us. Alright. And yes. Lockwood Fen. The reeking murk of the fenlands is ripe with furtive life. Taciturn locals still watch the sacred places of the small and secret gods, the ones that answer prayers. Interesting. Dark. Very interesting. Get a little more funds, if we will, so far. Have you noticed we've not done any overtime? He's just immediately liked our work. We got lucky there. Okay, we should be getting somebody new here real soon. Go ahead through some erudition in that. We can go ahead and buy another place, I think. There it goes, and now we'll go ahead and get that there. And soon we'll have another Furtive Truth. We've been doing pretty well. We haven't had to use any overtime. We've been speeding things up along with that. I found something noteworthy. The Viennese conundra, Nico van Driel, NVD, describes odd events in Vienna. The disappearance of children, epidemics of parasite activity, animal mutilations, nightmares of worms, the activities of a charitable organization, the new legions that funds the burial of the poor. She proposes peculiar connections between these activities. Interesting. Set that one aside. You know what? Let's go ahead and use the Furtive Truth. Oh, we got another hanger-on. Nothing too special. And we're about to get ourselves another Furtive Truth coming up. And then we're going to have a peaceful season coming up. Good. And another Furtive Truth, and I guess we'll go ahead and do a search on that, maybe. We must work overtime now. Another white light title. Drive through the downs to the coast, where the gray-green land meets Atlantic gray. Search along the road for signs to Carisham town. You will rarely find it, even if you have visited before, and its inhabitants guard their secrets with curse and cudgel and fast-bolted doors. That is the end of the second level of Secret Histories. So we no longer need to spend those. We can keep those on board. And actually, we do want to have them upgraded for the sake of that commission, don't we? Let's go ahead and visit Moreland again. And I think we're good to read another book. We'll read the Viennese Conundra. When the individual K attends the meetings, black dogs are sacrificed and quartered. When the individual M is in attendance, black mares are found with their throats slashed. I propose that these sacrifices are not necessary, but that our Lycian friends may consider them fitting. Herewith diagrams of the mutilations. What a lovely place. Pretty soon we should consider doing some of these commissions. Maybe we'll do that on the next time. Let's see. That's a lot of rumors, my goodness. Well, the evidence is gone, so we could possibly use that. Ah! Kuner and Girth! Kuner and Girth! Arsfolik Grammatik der Griechen Sprach. A Greek grammar, apparently written in German, an essential weapon for a ferocious struggle with the legendary language. So now we can learn Greek. Yay! Well, let's see here. You know what? We can go ahead and use the rumor. Oh, hello. We can learn from each other. Interesting. I'm not too sure exactly what happened there. We might be running out of people, finally. Medusa's riddle, then, I choose to render as what is not seen. There is another riddle, one I have heard rendered as what may be lost. I will delineate some historic attempts to answer it. These are in themselves, in some sense, sacrifices. Don't quite get that one, but okay. Ah! Another level of Moth! We now have the 3 levels of lore for Moth. Intriguing. Let's go ahead and spend this time now to learn some Greek. Go. We're probably going to piss off the detective with our current looking over here, but it is what it is. Ah, another crop. There we go. Even if it is the lower ones, it's still good to have, because you can make them better. Oh, we have an acquaintance! Clavette! Clavette is happy in a way that brooks no counter-argument to happiness. Well, hey, we got another person. I'll take it. I'm gonna hold off on that particular rune we're there. And we'll go ahead and buy another book. And we'll go ahead and do another deep dive, shall we? Let's see. Now we can translate Greek, and we shall do so with this tome over here. I think we're about to get another person here. Ah, a collection of essays. Nice to have, but we could do better. Actually, since we did that one a little faster, let's go ahead and get another book. Another rumor. Interesting. Oh, nice. Nice! We can be able to use that. And we only need an erudition to upgrade it. Sweet. Go ahead and set you aside, and now we'll go ahead and upgrade those 2 levels to get a 3rd level. Oh, another book. The Locksmith's Dream, A Light Through the Keyhole. The first volume of Teresa Gelmier's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. I want to read that one next, since we've already read its sister volume. Well, there's the evidence. We are going to have to watch our backs now for a hot while. And behave ourselves, as it were. And go ahead and take that. Pull you over here. And we'll buy another book. I think we're doing just fine so far on that. Oh, we're going to get a little bit of restlessness again. We'll have to watch out for that. And see if we can't get lucky with finding somebody else. Maybe we should try some other lore, perhaps. Oh, we got a tome of poetries. Well, it's still good to have. There's a bit of vitality. Not a horrible thing to have, but we could do better. Let's see now. A little bit soon. Go ahead and use a little introduction to level up our scraps. We might still be okay as far as our dread goes, even though we've got a bit of it. Okay, sure, we'll get another scrap. The more the merrier when it comes to those. In fact, let's go ahead and get another fun, shall we? Now, since we have a commission on the 6th level of the secret histories, I'm gonna hold off on spending that. Oh, another hanger-on. I think we're just about full up here, honestly. Oh, another collection of poetry. We must not be finding a lot of the good books around here. And there it is, level 6. Nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and read this locksmith's dream, a light through the keyhole now. Ahem! The parallels and mystic dreams experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans, and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, and sometimes funny, no one has ever explained why Galmier devoted herself to this quixotic exploration of artisans' dreams. Go ahead and take another one, shall we? Ooh, nice. I think we could be able to beat out the dread and be able to get rid of one of them. I hope so, anyways. We actually ran out of funds for half a moment there. Alright. Time and again we hear of the wood. Why, yes we do. Which rises from the world's foundation. All trees reach for light. What does the wood reach for? Is there a difference between light and light, capital L? I think the key to dreams of the wood might be one of these, the one that isn't exactly real. And we got another Watchman's secret. With that, we can actually upgrade our primary lore. To have on that. I guess once we're done talking with that, we'll go ahead and upgrade it. Very good to upgrade that whenever we can. Yep, not going to be using that for a while. Okay. Let's go ahead and use that to burn some dread. And unfortunately, they do have a dread that was caught. And I'll leave this open for a bit. Oh, another acquaintance, Enid. Enid speaks softly, and sometimes her gaze doesn't focus on anything visible. It may be that you've dreamed the same dream. Yay, another person's gone. Okay, now then, this one also needs a bit of erudition, which we have some, so we can go ahead and just go right into upgrading that if we can. There is a proverb among the practitioners of the invisible arts. Glory visits the house without walls. I would like to know about glory. So would I. And we'll go ahead and use this to go ahead instead. After all, lore is lore. Nice. You know what? I think we'll be okay spending that. pretty well. Uh-oh. Okay, now we're getting a little worrisome. Now I'm getting a little concerned. I will use this once. Oh, we got another book. Traveling at Night, Volume 1. The Annotated Dream Journals of Christopher Illopoli. Sometimes called the only readable occultist. Literate, entertaining, bewildering. So yeah, there we go. That's the first volume of that guy's book. Good to know. We're doing very well, I think. Keeping it nice and steady. Nothing too crazy just yet. Looks like we're going to get contentment, but the problem is it's going to come in a little late, I think. We are now at 2 dread. That is very bad. That's going to counter one of them, but we're still going to need another. Oops, we didn't please our man over here, sadly. That's not good. We're in a bit of a tight budget now, unfortunately. Yes, good. Okay, we're going to hold off on that because we're going to need to use some opium soon. Yep, hold off on that for a little bit. What's going on here? Now I understand. Oh, another acquaintance. Claire has a scholarly aspect and a morbid streak. I mean, imagine with this particular profession we're going into, I would imagine so. Let's see if we get anybody else. We've already translated that, so we'll go ahead and leave that with the ready to study books. And that's been leveled up. Wonderful. We are in a very tight squeeze now. Focus on making that money now. We're gonna even hold off on reading a book because sometimes the books can get a little scary, depending on the book. So we're just gonna hold off on that, get the dread knocked out if we can, and go from there. Okay, I think we're gonna be fine. Oh, and there we are, nice and fine. And we'll read off this book now. Apollo and Marsyas. In the original myth, Marsyas lost the musical contest and was flayed by Apollo, who later regretted it. In this version, Marsyas' skin has a further history. Yee. Interesting thing to learn. Oops. Oh, another one! Dorothy! Dorothy is an enthusiastic sort with an eclectic reading habit. She's fascinated by May hints about the shapes beneath the world's skin. Interesting. My goodness, are we gonna run out of people soon here yet, I wonder? Keep it going, keep it going. That's gonna turn into a dread, I think. Or at least a restlessness and then into a dread, I think. Oh dear. It's a little tight on the money, isn't it? There it is. Oh great, now we're gonna get sick. Wonderful. You have then the work. Moving on. The skin of Marsyas gives oracles and is later smuggled to Phrygia, where the priestesses of Cybele use it for a drumhead. At the opera's climax, the pounding of the drum drives would-be violators of the priestess to suicidal madness. The opera ends with a wistful hymn from the youngest priestess on the beauty of mountain pines. And we get a thunderous secret. The low level of the heart lore. Let's go ahead and just kind of shift these over while we can. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we're missing one. Moving them all over a smidge more. Yes, I do believe we are missing at least one more of these guys. Let's go ahead and steady and get some vitality, if you don't mind. Getting a little low on these funds, and it's making me a little concerned. Oh boy, we're going to be looking for some dreadful times coming up. We may want to consider pushing forward with our dedication. I think it might make things a little easier as far as dread's concerned. Alright, we got the vitality, so we're going to hold off on our next visit to the Mansis. Ah, another! Victor is a sly fellow, and he knows an unusual opportunity when he sees it. Nice. My goodness, so many people. Let's see now. I guess we'll go ahead and read up another book on what is contained by silver. A dire bestiary of the horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition of a 3rd century text by Pomander. Interesting. Beasts in mirrors. Very fascinating. Oh, almost there. I'd say we're almost done with this episode. We just need a little more push. Let's see. How are we on funds? I think I'm getting a little concerned. Oh, no. We are... Alright, I'm getting very concerned about the amount of dread we're getting here. A lot of dread. And a lot of restlessness. The virgins, maidens, of the mirror favor orchids. The behindlings favor the rhododendron. Cut flowers of either nature should not be placed before polished bronze. An appendix contains a rite which might be used to summon some of these entities, although the details of its use are not made clear. We have our first rite, ladies and gentlemen! I'm going to set that to a side, but eventually we can be able to start using that to do things. What are we going to do with it? I don't know yet. We'll figure it out later. In the meantime, we're glad to have another... We can be able to use this to level ourselves up again on our lanternscape, which is very good to have. Let's get that going. And unfortunately, I think we are going to deal with an issue. Okay, that dread's going to expire out. It's going to be a... Okay, we're fine. I will go ahead and buy another book. Work another day. Oh, did we get some free vitality? Yes, we did. Nice. Oh, what's this? Come with me. A case of mistaken identity? This isn't who you hope for, after all. They're no one of particular importance, and eventually they'll pass from your memory. Perhaps there is no one else available you care to meet. That is the sign that we have met all of the possible recruits. It took a while, but I think that this is just about the point. We are just about to be finished with this episode here. Ah, The Humors of a Gentleman. Samuel Savage's satirical comedy on the intrigues of the ailing but cunning John Son, his mistress Madeline, her lover Leo, and the upstart Corvino. Seems like that's going to be a very Shakespearean tale. I think a lot is definitely going on here, and I don't want to entirely end things quite just yet. One more time. Okay, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. Going to be fine. And just in case, to make sure that I am indeed missing out on people, we're gonna go ahead and just do one more time just to make very certain, because I'm not too sure if that is indeed the end of it or not. Oh, The Burning of the Unburned God, compiled by Hosti Tasmain from oral traditions in rural Persia. My goodness, how many books are there? This is such an exquisite store of readings, isn't it? I hope they never run out. I hope the books are endless. Okay, get another scrap. Good. Good. I'd say we're doing a very wonderful job with our process here. So it keeps running a little tight on money, perhaps, but I think we're still fine. Oh, almost done. I think perhaps with the winding down of these two missions of ours, I think we'll be just about ready to finish things off for this day. Peculiar rumor. You know what? Why not? Let's test our gut. Maybe we might get somebody. And if we don't, then oh well. That'll prove we are indeed at our full mast on that. And then we have our level 6 lantern ability. Wonderful! That is very powerful to have. Especially since that is our key dedication. Let's see, veneration lantern. Yep, and since this is the one that we venerate, that is the one we want to make sure we have the most of. Okay. That's gonna be annoying. We'll sit on that for just a bit, if you don't mind. Just because I know it's gonna turn... Ah, well, darn it. Still a little too early. And indeed, it is... Alright, well that's the proof I need. We have found everybody to possibly be hired up. And we've upgraded our venerated aspect, as well as gotten a few more levels up on things as well, too. Very lovely. After we get a bit more money, we might work on some of these commissions, get a few more books, read a few more books. We're doing wonderfully, I think. We're making a great time, I think. Well, I thank you very much for joining me through here. Next time, we can start properly building our cult, learn more things, maybe take a little bit deeper into the Mansis, maybe take a look at some of these commissions, and might even go for our first exploration, perhaps even, who knows. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me here. I've been Max, and I hope that you will live life to the max. I'm out!